Welcome everybody to the final blame game for Worlds because it is the grand finals. It's sadly also the final time that I get to say that the blame game is brought to you by Acer Predator, the official sponsor of the League of Legends 2017 World Championships. The monitors we use for all the competitions, and I have been able to use their laptops for a little while. They are super good. Check them out on Amazon if you want consumer reviews, not just me. They're a great product and definitely worth checking out. Anyways, on to the actual games. Ding dong, the king is dead. SKT not only lost for the first time at Worlds, but it was in the finals in a sweep. Bang shouldered the vast majority of the criticism, though it was spread around to basically everybody on the team except for kind of Faker and a little bit of Huni. Either way, let's discuss whether or not this blame is on point. This is a little tough of a series to talk about just because of how dominant Samsung Galaxy were. A team does not get swept in the finals of something just because of one or two players playing bad. It's usually an indicator that one of the teams outclasses the other team in a variety of factors. You could argue pretty well that Samsung Galaxy had an advantage at every single position on the map except mid lane, and even then, Faker was not able to find a way to abuse Samsung's strategy of early picking Malzahar for crown every time. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Cuvée was able to neutralize SKT's other large advantage in the top lane because he's able to play both the carry and tank playstyles at an extremely high level. Even when SKT went for their download complete strategy of swapping their jungler mid-series, Blank came in and did a better job of getting an early game lead, but then made some mistakes in the late game, as well as the fact that Samsung just seemed like a stronger team as the game went later and later. Samsung overthrew the late game kings of SKT when they were able to snatch back victory in game 3 with some superior team fighting, something you don't often hear talked about when compared to SKT, as well as the fact that when they had their leads in other games, they had absolutely dominant vision control. So with that in mind, this doesn't really feel like a series that SKT will win, even if they're getting an average performance out of Bang and Wolf. They have been slumping all tournament long and were one of the key reasons that quarterfinals and semis were so difficult for SKT. We're in an Ardent Sensor meta, so obviously the ability for your bot lane to carry is critical, and they were usually the weaker of the two bot lanes in a series. Meanwhile, on the other side, Ruler and CoreJJ have been absolutely crushing it this tournament, beating even supposedly the pre-tournament favorites for best bot lane in the world in Longzhu's Prey and Gorilla. That's not to say that the blame for Bang is off base, however, as I agree with most fans that he was the worst performing member on SKT. They lost two laning phases, one in game 1 where they picked a stronger bot lane but were not able to get any tangible advantages as the game went on, and in game 3 when they picked an all-in bot lane but got completely grinded out. Some of this was on Wolf, of course, but as we move later into the game, it is Bang who is making the big individual mistakes. In game 2, SKT are looking to punish an invade by Samsung Galaxy, and I can expect the whole team's comms are looking to be fairly aggressive here. With Bang being one of the team's key engage tools, the flash ult is an understandable, though still bad idea, but was made even worse by the decision to kind of double down on that by Bang and kiting forward into the Dragon Pit. As the teleport came in, SKT needed to realize that they were at a positional disadvantage and to cut their losses and back out to one side. Instead, this play by Bang cost SKT this team fight and their small lead in the game, and later on there's another 5v5 at Dragon where Bang is going to get caught out once again at the start of a fight. Game 3 doesn't get any better for him as SKT has built up a really nice gold lead despite the failings of the bot lane early on. SKT is looking for a pickoff and Bang decides to jump in to land some additional slows as opposed to just walking forward and looking for auto attacks. Now, he is chain CC'd for a much longer time than anyone probably would have anticipated, so even if his rocket jump was up, he might not have been able to get out, but the big thing was that he was in the wrong place to begin with. This mistake allows Samsung Galaxy to win a team fight despite being down 6,000 gold because Bang is one of the only true damage threats on the side of SKT. Like I said though, Bang's mistakes were just the most egregious errors in a series where it was pretty obvious that SKT was outclassed in multiple ways. The High Five Comm of the Week award is brought to you by my patron Kevin Taylor and goes to Oolong T 1369. A lot of people cracked a similar joke about Faker saying how he couldn't wait for the series to be a quick 3-0 so he could go eat, but what was great was the execution of tying in Bang as well as finding this great picture to go along with it. One other thing to note is that I really hope Faker doesn't get dissuaded from smack talking a little bit in the future just because he got burned a little bit here. I think it makes the games a lot more interesting overall. That does it for this episode of the Blame Game, and most likely for the entire Blame Game of 2017. The World Championships was great this year. I actually loved how quarterfinals had a lot of close matchups as opposed to the stomps that they usually tend to be. It really re-energized me for League, and I cannot wait for Season 8. Also, once again, thank you to Acer, and everyone have a great year. Speaking of Season 8, I'm actually really looking forward to playing the preseason with the new runes and stuff. I'm probably gonna make a new account and level it just to get the feel of the new player experience, because a lot of these changes were designed for new players in that sense, where you don't have to get runes, you don't have to grind out IP the exact same way and all that stuff. So I wanna get a feel for how that goes. Maybe I'll stream it.